Do you know why prisoners in Pakistani jails are punished by not being allowed to sleep? And are you aware that there is a country in the world where criminals are thrown in front of hungry rats, which gnaw at them and eat them alive? Also, did you know that in some Indian jails, prisoners are punished by being forced to eat raw chili-laden spicy food? Well, in today's video, I am going to tell you about the most dangerous punishments given around the world. So, let's get started. Sleep deprivation. Friends, this torture technique is very famous in the prisons of Russia, China, and Pakistan. In this punishment, prisoners are kept awake continuously for several days. Even if they want to sleep, they are not allowed to. As soon as a prisoner tries to sleep, a bright light is shined directly into their eyes, causing extreme irritation and forcing them to stand up. That's not all. If a prisoner accidentally dozes off, they are startled awake by loud noises or by pouring water on them. This keeps the prisoner under constant mental stress and fatigue. This torture technique is not only used on inmates, but also during interrogations to extract the truth by mentally breaking the criminals. Some inmates, due to lack of sleep, go to the point of insanity, injuring themselves by banging their heads against walls. Some prisoners even get so frustrated that they confess to crimes they haven't committed. Pakistani prisons are particularly notorious for this method, because they extract confessions for crimes the inmates didn't even commit. It's truly unbelievable. Spicy food punishment. When it comes to spicy food, many people around the world enjoy it. But did you know that in India there is a prison where prisoners are punished by being fed raw chilies? In this punishment, inmates are served meals packed with raw chilies, with several times the amount of spice compared to regular food. These dishes are also not properly cooked. Prisoners are given the same chili-laden food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If they refuse to eat, they are beaten. This kind of punishment not only tortures the prisoners physically, but also mentally, leaving them unable to endure it. Such inhumane practices are shocking and demonstrate how extreme punishments can be in different parts of the world. Prisoners are forcibly made to eat this food. Not only that, but violent criminals are given only raw chilies to eat. Not only do their noses and eyes start watering, but the chilies burn their entire mouth, and they even develop ulcers in their stomachs. Even when they are forced to eat the chilies, they are not given any water to drink, so they have to endure the pain. Well, could there be any torture more brutal than this? Red cell punishment. When it comes to rats, they are among the most irritating creatures in the world. Most people are afraid of rats. But what if someone has to live surrounded by hundreds of rats while standing, sitting, sleeping, or waking? In Myanmar and Cambodia, criminals are subjected to the red cell punishment. In this punishment, the criminal is locked in a small cell filled with hungry rats. These rats not only crawl on their body, face, and hands, irritating them, but often bite and eat the prisoner when they are hungry. This causes severe diseases in the prisoner's body. Not only that, but violent criminals are tied hand and foot and locked in the cell, leaving them defenseless. There isn't even a bed in this dark cell, and the prisoner has to sleep among the rats. There is no punishment more excruciating than this. Extreme temperatures. The human body is naturally unable to tolerate excessive heat or extreme cold. But what if someone is punished by being forced to endure extreme heat or freezing temperatures? In countries like the US, Russia, and Egypt, many prisons subject criminals to such punishments. Some prisons are extremely hot, with special heaters installed to generate additional heat. The temperature inside becomes so unbearable that prisoners feel like they are sitting in fire. These cells have no light, no fans, and even the drinking water provided is warm. On the other hand, in Siberian prisons, where temperatures drop as low as 50 degrees, criminals are made to stand on ice for hours without jackets or shoes. Their bodies stiffen from the cold, rendering them unable to walk. These punishments are truly terrifying. Tiger chair. The tiger chair is considered one of the most brutal punishments in the world, and is commonly used in Chinese prisons for those committing minor crimes. In this punishment, the prisoner is made to sit on a steel chair fitted with metal clamps. These clamps are used to tightly bind their arms, legs, and torso, leaving them immobile. The prisoner is kept in this position not for hours but for several weeks. They are unable to move, stand, or change their position. This punishment inflicts both physical and mental agony on the prisoner, and is a prime example of the extreme torture methods used worldwide. Prisoners are forced to eat in this position, unable to move or rest their bodies. Even eating, drinking, and using the toilet must be done while sitting in this chair. The result of this punishment is that the prisoner loses the ability to think clearly, suffers damage to their muscles and nerves, and for days afterward cannot even get out of bed. This punishment is genuinely terrifying. Standing cell. This torture technique is used in China, where special cubicles are constructed for prisoners. These cubicles are less than 2 feet high and barely wide enough to fit one person. Criminals are locked in these box-like cells for several days. Inside the cell, they cannot stand straight or lie down. These cells have no light or ventilation, forcing prisoners to stay in a bent position. This causes severe back pain and blood clots in their legs, resulting in excruciating pain that leaves them unable to move. Furthermore, the prisoners cannot sleep or rest in these boxes, which affects their mental state to the extent that they lose the ability to think, let alone commit any crime. Could there be a worse punishment than this? Flogging. Many of you may have heard that in ancient times, people who committed crimes were publicly flogged with whips. However, did you know that this form of punishment still exists in many countries? Flogging is a common punishment in countries like Saudi Arabia, Sudan, Iran, and Indonesia. In this punishment, criminals are brought to a public square filled with people and whipped or beaten with rods. The punishment continues until the prisoner starts bleeding. Typically, flogging begins with 100 lashes and can go up to 1,000. This not only causes extreme physical pain due to the wounds, but also immense humiliation in front of the public. There could hardly be a more embarrassing punishment than this. Warden burger. Burgers are a fast food item loved by many, but have you ever heard of a punishment involving burgers? Surprisingly, in many American prisons, a strange punishment is given to violent inmates. The prisoner is locked in a room alone and given an odd burger to eat. This burger consists of a dirty patty placed between 2 stale buns. The patty is made from oats, cabbage, bread, and rotten meat. The prisoner is fed this same burger 3 times a day for 7 consecutive days. While this might seem tolerable initially, you won't believe that the burger also contains dirt, hair, and other disgusting items that make one feel nauseated just looking at it. Initially, inmates refuse to eat this burger, but when hunger strikes, they reluctantly consume it. After eating this burger continuously for 7 days, prisoners reportedly learn their lesson and never repeat their violent behavior. However, this punishment is undeniably irritating and disgusting. Thank you for watching this Wonder Hitch video. Your support and kind comments mean the world to us. Stay tuned for another fascinating story in the next video.